Hey team, welcome to another Too Many Projects. So it's been ages since I last did a video and we have moved house. But that took a whole load of time, and honestly I've just unpacked the camera, which is why you're sitting on a window ledge, because I haven't found the tripod yet and the sound recorder's over here, so I'm probably going to have to spend ages sorting out the dialogue. But I want to start making videos again and getting back into the rhythm this summer. And so the good news about moving house is I do have a garage now, which is pretty cool. Always wanted the garage. This is not the best garage in the world. I would say it's not actually quite as big as the shed and the basement that you've seen me working in before in our old flat, but I'm working on it. We've been here about 6 or 8 weeks now, and I've only just found the camera, which has just been unpacked from a box, so that's why you're seeing me again. Still missing the mics, still missing the tripod, seeing a perch on the windowsill. But I wanted to show you a little bit about what I've done in the garage already, because it's kind of fun, and then there's a bit of a project in the garage that I'm going to get fixed in this video, hopefully. So let's go inside. Ta-da! It has actually been worse than this. This is an improvement. First things I've done already, without showing you, are removing all the old dangerous wiring, and just lights at the moment. There's some power out here, but I don't like the look of it. And this framework up here, this is going to be where we hang some bikes. Same over there. And then I've got this big long thing storage area, as well as in the background there, a nice workbench which goes all the way up the back and has a good bit of storage down the bottom. Those two things were actually made out of a disability ramp that we had out the front of the house, all mostly recycled material. I had to buy some more 4x2 and a couple of extra clamps, but that's pretty cool. I can't currently get in here. There's a bunch of crap over there. These two things are on wheels, so I can whip them out when I need them. This is easy to lift, but basically to use anything in the garage, I have to unload approximately half the stuff. Today, I'm going to whip up some shelves where these walls are. Then I'm going to try and move a lot of that stuff that's in the front over here. And for those of you asking why I don't just open the front door to get into the garage, it's broken. So that's the project I'm going to deal with today. So I'll move some stuff and I will show you what the problem is. Shelves. There you go. Rather neatly lit. That little one I was building there is built to go around this column, suspended between two big ones with some OSB behind it. Means you can't knock things off the back accidentally. So that's quite neat. The important thing is there's a small path between the motorbike and the toolbox that allows me to get to this garage door over here. So, cheap electric roller door. When we moved in, I was told this was broken and it seemed like a really easy fix. The electrics are working, but the drum was just spinning, and it still is. Now, when I looked at it, one of these labs was screwed onto the drum directly, but the lab that was screwed on was broken off the door, so the rest of the door wasn't attached. I thought, easy fix, unscrew the lab that's left behind. This one's long enough, screw the second lab on instead. You can see I did that. I've drilled some holes in it. But when I did that and tried to raise the door again, this lab broke off the door almost completely, although I've managed to wedge it back on. And the third and the fourth were also clearly starting to come away from the door. Each lab is just a little hook system that clips onto the one below it. And yeah, the top three were all coming apart. And can you see how the hook on this one is really bent and messed up? So I sort of Googled around how these things go together, and I saw a lot of, what would I call it, a sort of speedy attachment system on the better models that has, sorry, I'm looking away from the camera. I'm trying to get used to doing a selfie video. I noticed they had these plastic rings on them, which are designed to be clipped onto the drum, and then you attach the door to the drum with this kind of quick release system that goes on. What they do, though, is they're like a ring that goes around there, which actually increases the circumference of the drum and means that the first 3 or 4 of these laths, they're not forced into such a tight turn, at such a tight angle, because the drum's a little bigger at the beginning. So I wonder whether this door was supposed to have one of those little quick release thingies, and it wasn't fitted, didn't come with it, broke, and someone thought it was useless and took it out and then screwed it on. I don't know. But here's my plan. I recently purchased a 3D printer, which is so fun, but I've made this. So here's the plan, right? I'm going to check if this fits first of all, because I just did some measurements. And what I did was I took off the laths and I looked at the profile, and then I very unprofessionally kind of measured a couple of bits and tried to work out what was the minimum circumference that they could be wrapped around without putting too much pressure on the little hook mechanism that keeps them together. And I came up with this size. I've just got to go and check it to make sure this octagon fits around the drum. And if it does, then I will remove the door, try and bend shut this hook properly, slide the 3 or 4 laths that are broken back together, put the door back in, screw it to the new adapters, and see if that does the trick. So first of all, let's see if this fits. Can I do it one-handed? Probably. I think it's going to be fine. I think once it's screwed down, it'll be great. Right. I'll go and print 4 more. Okay, I've made a bit of space. I've got a precarious ladder. And so I need to get the door out because the laths slide together, so I can't slide them past the garage wall. So Clara's going to go out the front, or I am, one of the two, and lift the door from the bottom, wiggle it up, and then the other one of us is going to stand here and just roll it up into a roll so that we can, how we're going to get it out onto the lawn where we can fix these top laths and slide them all back together again before we put it back in. That's what we're going to do first. Turn the other way. Okay, have a go. Where do you think it's sticking? Let me come and help you on that side. Okay. We'll do one end each just to get it started at least. Try a little more closer. There we go. Okay. Ah, this one's stuck. A bit at a time like that. Go on. Okay. Okay, up. Again. And again. So this one's the broken one that was originally screwed on, and then these top ones, can you see that one's come away, but not all the way down, just a little way. And if if you look where it's coming apart there, it's bent a load. And I think just here, what's happened is there was a hook under like that and it's just been pulled apart. And I think that's because it's been twisted to too tight an angle. So I can see from here, at least the top 5 have got damage. So I'm going to try and slide them all apart here. And just try and repair these hooks and then slide them back together again. That's the plan. So I've been messing around with them for ages, and what I've been left up with is one over there that's too far gone. That was the one that was originally screwed to the drum, and it's got a big kink in it, so it's done. These 5 here are the ones that were all snapped or damaged in some way or other. So I've been spending ages just tapping away at them to try and rebend these little hook shapes at the end back into a hook shape and close up the little slots. So I've kind of put these two together and they've gone together and they're not coming apart, but they don't pivot as smoothly as they used to. You have to kind of fiddle with them. So because they're not pivoting as smoothly anymore, these ones I've fixed, I'm going to take 10 off the top, attach them to this one which is going to be screwed to the thing, and I'm going to take these ones I've taken off and I'm going to put them in the middle. That way, when they come to bend around the drum as the door's going up, they don't have to bend at quite such a tight angle. Give them a bit of a break and see if that... Just a bit worried it's going to get to the top and they're not going to bend properly and it's going to cause a big lump. Anyway, I'm going to rearrange 10 from there up to the top, those 5 down to the middle. Okay, so in the end, I've shoved all the broken ones. You can kind of see they're not as dirty. I shoved all the broken ones, way more than 10 down here. So now I'm going to do a quick hose down on the inside here, get some of these spiders off, because it'll be difficult to do that afterwards. And then we might try and shove it back in the garage door. Scrubbing brush. Ooh. Right, so there's 5 halves. I just need to flip the drum round. And so, last of all, got some longer screws and they're just going to go through everything. What do you think? There we go. So, A, will it go up? That's the first test. B, that's the broken lath from earlier where it gets a bit uneven and they're not coming together properly. Right there. So will that work? Let's find out. Up. Oh, bad noises. And let's try again. Ha ha ha! Sort of. So far, so good. So far, so good. It's gone too far. I need to read the instruction manual and find out how to recalibrate the top and the bottom. There must be a way. But look at that! I'm a bit surprised it works, if I'm honest. Good noises. So the following 2 hours of footage were very boring, with me trying to work out how to calibrate the top and bottom of the door. The end result of which is that with this cheap ass door you can't. It's rubbish. I'll talk about that in a minute. But it also ended with me realising I'd done something bad, and I think I've lost the footage for that. But the problem was in this left-hand bracket, I'd screwed the long screw through the door, through the bracket, into the drum. And just on the other side of the drum, on the left-hand 50 centimetres, there's an axle coming out of the motor that turns the drum. And that I'd screwed into that axle. And then when I'd opened the door for the first time, that big cracking noise with it snapping the screw. And these subsequent loud cracking noises were screws bumping into each other as they went round and round the drum, which was not making the door very happy. I solved this problem by just removing the screws from the left-hand bracket, taping it on with gaffer tape, which meant that it was supporting the door when it was rolled up, but it wasn't pulling on the door when the drum was going up or down. And because it was then very late, I decided to just stop for the evening and review it later. This stopping for the evening turned into several weeks of testing where there were no problems. And then I came back to do a conclusion to the video and explain what I've just explained in voiceover. And that's where we are here. All right, so much grinding and gnashing of teeth occurred in the final steps of this, but I haven't got it sorted. I've got it sorted as much as I'm going to get it sorted. These motors and axle assemblies are a separate product from the controller. They're not usually made by the same manufacturer as far as I can tell. This Nico variety of controller is very popular. There's supposed to be in this some mechanical stops that mean when the door gets to the top, you can set a screw that means it will force the door to not be able to move any further, even if the motor keeps trying. And the same at the bottom, so that you make sure you don't over close it or over open it. It doesn't have these in this model. It's a really cheap, crappy version. There's nothing inside it. I spent a long time trying to take it apart. The controller, one of the little pots inside here, is also a timer. So when you press the open button, it will keep going. Oh, look at that. Oh no. It's literally just broken. Oh God. This is such a piece of this door. So there's a timer in here, as I was saying, which you adjust with a little pot. So, once it goes up, it should stop around here. But I've found that the variance in different times it opens can be quite big. So the only way I can see to make it work is just to watch it every time and make sure you press the stop button before it goes too far up, and on the way back, too far down. Obviously, if you do stop it halfway up and then open it again to continue it going up, the timer starts again. So, if you stop it halfway and then go again, it's going to keep going too far, which is why those mechanical stops are there for safety, which this door doesn't have. It has been working fine like that. What I've just seen, though, yeah, it's broken again. And I think the reason it's doing this is because this piece on the end is not screwed to the garage door. You can see there's a piece of damage there, and that's where it started, and then it's just ripped out all the way. So I think what I'm going to do now, I don't know, I'm going to just throw it in the bin. I hate it. I don't even want this stupid door. I just want some nice old wooden ones that open with hinges. But I can't afford those at the moment, so what I think we're going to do is No, oh, I don't know. I'll show you in a minute. So I've opened the door this much and just blocked it up on some wood temporarily. Then I've unscrewed these top two laths that were screwed to the axle and ripped them off. And I think it's going to be close. I think there's enough laths left to still be able to close the door even though now I've removed about 3 or 4 over the repair project. But if I just screw those down, it's going to happen again. The reason I think it's happening is because these 4 brackets I've made, the door rolls onto, are screwed into the axle, like they go through the metal. The one on the left that I've taken off, there was another one there right on the end, which is now here. That one I couldn't screw in because on the left section there for about 0.5 metre or so is the motor inside the axle. So if you screw into it, you screw into the motor, which causes a problem. I just literally taped one of these on and I thought that the other 4 screws would be enough to pull the door open, which it was. But I think there's so much torque being applied to this side of the door that side of the door is actually drooping quite a lot. And that's why it always comes apart on that end and then it slowly pulls itself out over a short amount of time to the other side. But the big thing I have misjudged here, I've decided, is that this design is good, but it doesn't need to be screwed in to the axle at all because it's an octagon shape, right? So if I could screw these 2 plastic pieces into each other tightly, they would grip the axle just fine without any need for the mat to actually be screwed into the axle itself. And so what I should have done is put screws through here and here to hold it together and then screw the door only into this bracket without screwing it into the rest. Should have done that on the others. The others work fine as they are, but this one isn't going to work like that because of the motor being there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to screw the door properly into this piece by inserting a threaded bit into one of these holes and then putting, because they're a bit too big, these holes, for a self-tapping screw, and self-tapping into a 3D printed thing isn't I haven't planned for it. I would have needed to make the walls around this hole much thicker if we were going to do that. It's also quite brittle PLA, so I don't know how that would work, but it probably wouldn't be good for this purpose. But I'm going to put a threaded metal nut in there, which I'm going to melt into it. And I'm going to attach the door to this, and then I'm going to affix this to the axle by using probably gaffer tape around it. That'll probably be fine. I hate this door so much. I can't be bothered to print another one of these. It took ages. So that's what I'm going to do. That's not very neat, but it'll do. There it is in place. Gaffer tape is a bodge, obviously. Let's see if it works first, and then I'll think about redesigning this clip and having some threaded nuts in here and here as well, so you can bolt it down. But I'd rather just get this door to work for a season and then give it away to someone who fancies fucking around with it this much. I will be shocked and appalled if that actually works. It's a horrible fix. But these are a little bit neater. I've managed to do a neater job on all the others. Well, let's see if it works. The first thing to do is to take the blocks out, because I've got near no margin for error. And it might not be long enough to go down, but let's see. Right, one out. And then let's just go down a little bit further. Oh my goodness, what was that noise? I think that was a lath sorting itself out.
Now, you see, I would like it to be a bit more closed than that, really. That's good. That's good, look. It's to get these lads closed up. The top ones are a bit stretched out. So, just to be clear, this garage door, I mean, today I haven't filmed myself, but I'm wearing winter clothes and I was wearing summer clothes when I filmed the first half of this video. And this door has been working all right for a while. It was only when I came to sort of do that conclusion earlier that it had broken again. So I think this will probably break again shortly, but I've got a longer term plan to put timber doors back in here. It's just haven't got the money at the moment. And I would like to get the motorbikes out from time to time. So let's see where we are with this. Here we go. There you go, that's where the timer stopped today. Sometimes the timer goes for a bit longer than that, other times it doesn't. But that seems to be working. It was quite quiet, really. Let's go back down again. Yeah, that last bit isn't good, is it? That happened the last time. I had to stop that manually, you see, before it went too far. Right, in conclusion, buy a good quality garage f***ing door, because the last people who put this in did not. I think this particular garage version of this garage door, they're all very similar, the kits you get, and this one is a cheapy one and it's not very good quality, and I think there are bits missing. Possibly also the installation wasn't right, and that's why it's going to continue breaking until I scrap it. I think I have improved it enough to make it work for a while longer. I'm going to publish this 3D model. It isn't, the way I've done it isn't right. You by all means use the 3D model and adjust it slightly, but what it wants to be is not screwed into the axle but clamped on, so you need to be a bit clever with it. But I think in principle the wider radius with these works better for the garage door, because the axle on its own is too narrow and it wraps the door too tight at the beginning. I could see when that was open that the next one's going to go soon as well. So I'm going to try my best to not use the garage door as much as possible, and that'll be the way to keep it going till I've got a bit more money to fix it with a replacement. Please like and subscribe. This has been a horrible... Oh, no, I'll turn it around. Hello. Please, winter clothes, like and subscribe. I hate this garage door. Maybe it's helpful. Probably not helpful now, but thank you for watching the video. But you know, it would just make me feel better if you liked this video. I hate it. I hate this garage door. I hate it. See you on the next one.